Hi guys, I hope you're all doing well. I'm quickly going to touch upon the Q&A on gut health that I hosted on Instagram yesterday. So the questions that I don't speak about, just know that I've already spoken about it, and that is why I'm not touching on it in this video. The first question is, can epilepsy be cured permanently with food and lifestyle? Cure is a very strong word. So understand, it's like, let's say you have urinary tract infection, okay? Then you visit a doctor and they will put you on a course of antibiotics, and then you would just ask your doctor to say, so I won't get UTIs ever again. No, you will. You might, because not you will, you might, because as long as you have the urinary tract, there is a huge possibility that you might end up infecting it. As long as I have pancreas, there is a possibility that I might end up getting type 2 or type 1 diabetes. As long as I have my certain organ inside of the body, there is a possibility that things might go off. When we speak about epilepsy, I have two cases. Okay, I have one that is still with me and one that I did consult in the past. So the girl that I have, she is 11 years old. She's one of my finest cases. Now I would not say that I have cured her, but I have 100% managed. So the weight gain and mood issues, and she was very cranky. She didn't used to go out and speak to people. So I think this happened actually very recently. I spoke with her father, and he's like, what, you have given me back my daughter, the Panya that I love. So that is her name, and it's beautiful. So we have managed it beautifully. Curing, I am not sure, but management 100% possible. Okay. How can I contact you? You can always reach out to us via mail. Please don't DM. I take lemon water with ACV, hemp seeds, and a bit of honey twice a day. Is it okay? See, I love honey, I love lemon water, I love ACV, I love hemp seeds, and if it works for your body, I think it's pretty good. I would not personally take honey twice a day. Do you know who are the strongest people, or let's say not physically strong, but just internally strong when it comes to immunity and their health? Do you know who is the strongest? It's people who take care of the bees. It's because of immunity and the bee stings and how the immune system is always exposed. It's brilliant. Is avoiding corn and soy helpful when it comes to healing gut health? Absolutely, 100% yes. Which are the other vegetables that affect gut health? Mostly nightshades, okay? Mostly nightshades for most people. If there is something that does not work for your body, then that would be very bio-individual and something that you need to look into. I don't have any issues like acidity, bloating, constipation, etc. So what should I do to cure my acne? Again, this is a very personal question. I said that don't ask personal questions, but anyway, quickly touching upon your doubt. You need to find out, why do you have acne? Is it in the genes? Is it because of poor water? Is it because of poor eating habits? So let's say, always understand. I think this is a very major query with a lot of people. I have had hard water application on my head and on my face for years. So why am I suddenly facing a problem right now? So imagine, okay, there's a cup, okay, it's a cup. We are all born with one cup inside of us, okay? There is only so much that you can fill in this cup, okay? For some people, the cup is small. For some people, the cup is large. For some people, the cup is broader. For some people, it depends on their genetic makeup. It depends on the way they live. It depends on the environment that they live in. So you have to know that what might kill me in 3 days might not kill you in 30 years, okay? It is because of our genetic makeup. It's because of the upregulation and downregulation of the genes and the kind of things that we expose our immunity to. But you have to know that there has to be a reason. If the body is not in balance, if you are getting acne, it can also come from eating a lot of warm, spicy food. So even turmeric is a very warm spice, okay? It's a very warm herb. So you always want to make sure that there is something going off in the background, and your acne is a sign of communication. It's your body's way of communicating and saying, hey, look here, something is off. So you just need to connect the dots on that front, okay? How is fermented rice, leaving cooked rice in water overnight for gut and vitamin B12? Vitamin B12, not so sure, but yes, If your gut health is amazing, bang on, the body can have vitamin B12. You can also have B12 if you take your folic acid. So it would let go of a part of it, and then that is converted into methylcobalamin. It's a beautiful mechanism that takes place inside of us. But yes, if you have great gut health, rice kanji, I believe, is amazing. Like, I believe what you are speaking about is rice kanji, which is amazing. Okay, would love to meet you. Oh, thank you so much. I would love to see you too. While healing gut, can one consume chickpea flour? If I were you, I would not do that. Symptoms for inflammation in the body, everything. So let's say you have headache sometimes. It's not normal. It's a sign of something going off in the background. You have acne, hair fall, acidity, bloating, constipation, lethargy, mood swings, emotional disturbance, or not able to cope with stress, hormonal imbalance, issues with your periods, painful periods, menstrual cramps, uterine fibroids, endometriosis, neck pain, knee pain, not having enough energy to push yourself through a workout, not having enough motivation, not getting a good night of sleep, not feeling great after waking up, not feeling great post meals, wanting to eat sugar post your meals, wanting to feel and eat all throughout the day, having a lot of hunger pangs, not ever being having the feeling of satiation after your meal is done. Innumerable amount of things that will speak about inflammation. My tongue is twisting here. If I'm going off dairy, is it recommended to consume homemade yogurt? No. So you always have to remember, I think this is the major problem and issue with a lot of people who get off dairy and gluten and stuff. They would still take it from, you know, 2 चम्मच इधर से ले लिया, कुछ इधर से आ रहा है, कुछ ऐसे ही टेस्ट करने के लिए खा लिया, कोई मिठाई आई थी तो we just had one bite. It just creates a problem, okay? We think that the body is stupid, that we will eat a spoon and the body will not be able to recognize it and nothing would go wrong. Things go wrong. When I was experimenting with gluten, I had gluten ka halwa, so गेहूं का हलवा, and I think I took 1 spoon, 2 spoon, and I was taking it after, I don't know, years of not having it, and I was okay. I felt nothing. एक दिन बड़े आराम से निकल गया, and then next day I have this shooting stomach pain, and nothing changed except gluten. And I was like, Ankita, it's real. Don't experiment. Don't just overburden yourself. It's not. We can't do it. So definitely off it. I have been asking since days, at least 3 to 4 signs we have a healthy gut. You feel great, you have amazing, beautiful energy throughout the day, your emotions are balanced, you have clarity and vitality, you have an abundant mindset, you don't have cravings, you eat 2 to 3 meals in a day and you're good for the day, you have amazing levels of energy, you are a happy, positive, beautiful person. Believe me. It's real. Is Kayam Churn or tablet good for constipation until you get your gut in place? I personally have not tried Kayam Churn, touchwood, never had to. I don't give it to my patients as well, so I don't know. My only biggest struggle with Ayurvedic tablets and herbs is that it is very contaminated. It's not really organic or cold pressed and stuff. It can be very high in heavy metals. Heavy metals can live in your body for 10, 20, 30 years before it manifests itself in the form of a disease or disorder. So I am not big on herbs until and unless I know the source that it is coming from. So no, not for me, but if you're getting it from a good place and if it works for you until you heal your gut, absolutely go ahead. If you're feeling acidic, best thing to do at that time apart from drinking water, I've already discussed this in my acidity wale videos, you can check those out, but adding a few cloves of cardamom, or just doing like a teaspoon of cardamom powder with 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds brewed together really well. You can add peppermint and brew it for about 15 minutes. Drink it, should really help. Chew your food well and also address your acidity. Okay? Does exercise have any effect on the gut health? Absolutely, 100% yes. This is the most beautiful thing about yoga. So of course, all exercise is good, whatever serves you the best. But when we speak about yoga, when you do the twists and turns and the vinyasa and the power and the kind of things that your body has to go through, it actually in a way massages the internal organs, and it just soothes the body. So it's like, let's say you have a pain and then you just massage it really well. How amazing would you feel? So that is what the twist twisting and turning does to the body, and that is why I say you should have a gap of 3 hours before you do it, so that your body is not focused on digestion and your body is in just trying to rejuvenate and heal you. So exercise beautifully helps. What about mucus secretions? Oh, that's beautiful. Allow me to enlighten you. So when we speak about mucus, our body has 4 beautiful defense mechanism. Okay, the first being something known as mucopolysaccharides. So mucus in the nose and saliva, both of them together acts as a protection, and that is known as mucopolysaccharides. Number 2 would be stomach acidity. That is our defense mechanism against things that we are not supposed to consume. So let's say you're eating food or water that has some kind of microorganism, bacteria or virus that the body is not supposed to let go through the intestinal wall that we discussed. So that's your second defense mechanism, our second defense mechanism. Third would be the microbiome. So oral microbiome and internal, like the GI microbiome, both of them together in harmony. And fourth would be, we naturally have a mucosal layer starting from the mouth up until the anus, and it actually protects our body from these microorganisms and things we talk about. So mucus is body's finest form of defending you. So when you have mucus, instead of taking it in, when your body is trying to push it out, stand up and spit. Every time you have mucus and you try to suppress it, you are weakening your gut health, you are weakening your immune system, and your immune system sits in the gut health. So you have to know that it's very beautifully internally connected. Okay, repetitive. Can we have 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar daily? I am a big fan of apple cider vinegar, and if it works with you, if it serves you, brilliant. Emmer wheat is low on gluten, but it is still there. How much to consume this minimally so it is balanced? First things first, fix your gut health. I don't have battery. I'm sorry. Yeah. So emmer wheat is low on gluten. Absolutely, yes. It is a better version, especially when done organically. Two Brothers have good Khapli wheat. I used to use it in the past. So it's good for people who still wish to consume it. But gluten is gluten, and breach is 100% going to take place. And remember, your cup, everyone has a threshold. So it's about time that you reach and pass that threshold, and then everything is downhill from there. So you want to take care. To clean the gut first, what is the best? I'm just avoiding questions that is very repetitive. To clean the gut first, what is the best plain food to eat on a long-term basis? Now see, understand, a lot of people do great with rice. A lot of people don't do great with rice. A lot of people do great with suji. Oh, by the way, I don't recommend suji when you're trying to heal your gut. Gluten. It's durum wheat, okay? So best food really depends on you. If sweet potato is available, if starchy vegetables are available, if you can do tons of garlic and ginger and onion, I think these would be a good option. So yep, vegetables are good as such mostly. And rice, poha, khichdi, but without dal, so it's like basically your fried rice. Coconut is brilliant. Coconut is brilliant. When taking antibiotics, what are the supplements to take? Like you mentioned, B complex. So yeah, B complex is good. You also want to take a good probiotic that can repopulate the gut bacteria. But there is yeast based, there is spore based, there is regular lactobacilli based. So you want to see what your body needs. Okay. With probiotics, always remember, don't go for a full package. So like prebiotics and probiotics and super enzymes and betaine hydrochloride and pepsin and just everything together in one capsule that costs 500 or 1000 rupees. It's pretty useless. You want to make sure that dosage has to be minimum 10 to 20 billion. Okay? That can be calculated for you. Some people would need lesser or more, but 10 to 20 billion for our body is almost nothing. It's 10-20 billion CFUs, okay? So CFUs is your colony forming units. You want it to be at 10 to 20 billion. That would be good. Make sure that it does not always has gluten, corn, soy, wheat, dairy, nuts, shells, fish. You want it to say it, so it has to be hypoallergenic in nature. And I would ideally prefer if it does not has inulin and fructooligosaccharides, that's your FOS. Usually what happens is fructooligosaccharides and inulin would usually be on a FODMAP diet, so it is higher on the FODMAP list, and it creates a problem for a lot of people. So just taking care with the kind of probiotics you take. There is Healthic Probiotics, its dosage is 4 billion per capsule, so you need to take like 5 for it to be 20. There is Pro Gut by Pure Nutrition. I love Rootcology, it's not available here. Trex Genomics is also good, but it's not available, so no point in discussing. Times when we have to take antibiotics, does prescribe antacid along with it to take or not to take? It really depends on you. It really depends on your stomach acid levels. A lot of people have screwed up stomach acidity, hence the issues. So I think if your doctor is giving it to you, take it, but also manage its symptoms and side effect. About having normal deliveries, what can we exactly do now when pregnant to make that happen? Take care of your gut and emotions. What can tell me the severity of gut health? I forgot to, I have my report somewhere in the closet. I forgot to take it with me, but get a metabolic panel test done. Okay, there are a lot of labs available. They should be available in your city where you can just get a beautiful test done. I don't really rely only on blood work, so I need to see the symptoms before I order for a blood work. Usually people will have symptoms, so gut dysbiosis cut test is a really good marker. There is a lab known as My Diagnostics. They do good gut cut testing, so maybe you can get it done. It would cost around 15,000, and if it is on sale, you can do it for 50% of the rate, so say 7,000 or 6,000. But yeah, but it's helpful. It's helpful. Wanted to know if wanting to poop right after meals is healthy or something wrong. Of course it's not healthy, no. What test can I do to get to know about my gut health? I just mentioned. Why do I always feel bloated and uncomfortable? It's because you have gut issues. It's just by reading your question, I have a feeling that you are stressed. I just pick it up as I read your question. I'm not going to take your name, but you know who you are. So manage your stress. Why does sometimes it burns while farting? Also, what are the reasons for a very smelly fart? Very smelly fart means your methane producing bacteria or hydrogen producing bacteria that produce gases. It's not normal. Your poop should not smell, your fart should not smell. Literally, like if you are someone who comes from that place, it would be like, oh wow, what is she saying? What is she saying? But it's really the truth. The poop and fart should not smell. If it does, you have an issue, and you must address the root cause and address your gut health. If I were you, I would not do fruits in such a situation, because fructose, that is a glucose plus sucrose, can create an issue. Okay? Burns while farting. It could be because you're constipated, or you push a lot, or the blood vessels around the anus are inflamed. Anything can be a reason. So I think you also have chronic constipation. That is why you push a lot, and when you push a lot, you can damage the thin blood tissues and nerves, and that can create all of the other issues that you have asked in the questions. Pooping once in 3 days is not normal, and you need to address it. Okay, how many months does it take to make your gut healthy? It can take up to 6 to 12 months, and you can break it by eating 2 bad meals. I know, heartbreaking. Can I combine amla with milk? Will it impact gut health? What kind of milk? A1, A2? I will quickly tell you what is the difference between A1 and A2 milk. Why is everyone so about A2, including me? When we have milk that comes from A1 version, when the digestion of that A1 takes place, we produce something known as, inside the body, a metabolite is produced which is known as beta-casomorphin. It interferes with the production of insulin that is produced by the beta cells, and that can hyperactivate the immune system, and that can create a problem. Hence, everyone is a big proponent of A2 milk. It's a good thing to know, isn't it? Do lentils like tur dal, moong dal also need to be soaked, or is it just chana, rajma? Every dal. Every dal. Does B12 and D3 also control gut health? Absolutely. So D3 is like so let's say यहाँ पे there is spaces, okay? So when I want this to be tighter, the tightness, D3 would provide you with that. So D3 is not just a vitamin, okay? It is stored by your fat cells, it is secreted into the bloodstream, it works with the hormones, it acts like a hormone, it's a precursor to a lot of things. Your immune cells have the receptor for vitamin D3. So it's very important. And for B12, you cannot ignore the intrinsic factor when we speak about gut health. So it's definitely, can you start it on your own? I would suggest you get a blood work done, visit a doctor and just see your dosage, because a lot of people will have B12 above 1200, 1300. So take care. Can eating bitter melon and neem ka patta help in gut health? Not per se, no. Some tips to ensure protein is absorbed by the body, ma'am. Great, amazing, beautiful, strong, resilient gut health. Whenever I eat light dinner as khichdi, etc., I can't poop next day. That's probably because the bulk of the stool decreases or the fiber is not present. So like just khichdi, you want to add a portion of cooked vegetables. You don't want to do raw at dinner time. When you do raw, your body needs a lot of time to digest it. And when you're about to sleep, the body can't really focus on digestion. It wants to do the healing and repair and detoxification and rejuvenation process. When your body will not digest the raw food, it will create acidity, which will create inflammation, which will harm your gut health, and which will just harm every function and every metabolization of the cells and the body or whatever it is. So no, you should just give your body some time and change what you're eating, increase the fiber along with your food. Fiber has a very mechanical function, so increase its function and see if it helps. Are hormonal imbalance related to our gut health? Absolutely, 100% yes. I don't think I touched upon this in my last video, but something you should know, that the cells, endocrine cells in the intestinal wall would produce more than 20 hormones which it can secrete into the bloodstream, and in totality it is more than the gonads and thyroid gland and pituitary gland ka total karke bhi what your gut produces is higher. So absolutely 100% yes. Do you know, like, let's say serotonin, okay? So there is something known as vagus nerve, okay? This is about mind and brain connection, mind and gut connection. A lot of people have asked this question. There is something known as vagus nerve, okay? So your brain is connected to the lungs, your brain is connected to heart, your brain is connected to kidneys. But when your brain is connected to the gut, the nerve, we call it as cranial nerve X. So like your cranial nerve 10, that is your vagus nerve, is connected with the brain and gut, and it has 9 times more nerve bundles and fibers as compared to the brain and lungs. So let's say brain and lungs has 10, so this would have 10 into 9, your brain and gut, that way. So that is how beautifully it is connected. In the earlier days, it was thought that jo bhi dimag mein hota hai, that information travels to your gut, but it's absolutely false. When we look at vagus nerve, the gut communicates with brain. So your gut feeds what goes inside of your brain. So when you look at serotonin, it's not just related with the hormones and happiness and joy. It is also regulates your sleep. It also regulates your appetite. It also regulates your pain sensitivity. Serotonin. And 90% of the serotonin is stored in the gut microbiota, and then it travels to the brain. It does not come from brain to the gut. It travels from gut to the brain. That is how what you eat is 100% connected to your depression, to your stress, to your anxiety. Have you ever seen people like me who have caffeine and then they would just have these, heart palpitations or arrhythmias, or just feeling a little anxious for no reason? It's because you took the coffee, your gut took it in a negative way. Oh, by the way, caffeine can also damage this. So so your gut took it, and then the gut has to communicate with brain, and hence the anxiety. So you should take care. it will be so great if you can share the meal plan and all that you had when you started to treat your gut. This is one, I find this a lot. There are so many people who accuse me of saying that I hide what I eat and everything. Absolutely not. Earlier I did not used to post recipes and everything because I did not know that anyone would be interested. Post that I started posting it, and then people say the ingredients that she's posting is too expensive and we can't afford it. I started posting about supplements and everything that I say is too expensive. I understand, but for me also it's expensive. Okay, I also am self-sufficient and self-dependent. So for me also, when I have to take the supplements and everything, I have to manage. But for me, my health, my food, my body, my skin, my hair, the way I feel, it is an investment. I don't look at it as an expense. I look at food as investment. I look at supplement as investment, and it is investment in my health, and I would do it. So that's there. My meal plan, it's not possible for, you know what, we have patients where we devise a meal plan for mother and or say a relative, and then that person would go and take the same meal plan and follow it themselves, and then they will be constipated, bloated, acidic or something. Because even if two people eat rice, you eat rice, I eat rice, what my body does with rice and what your body does with rice is absolutely different. It cannot be same. That is how you and I are so unique. We have different genetic makeup. So my meal plan, even if I show you every bit of it, there is no way it can possibly help you, because what works for my body will not work for you. I do not want to leave coffee. What is the best time to have it, like for minimum damage? Coffee is great. Coffee is great. Don't take it empty stomach. Don't pair it with meals. Don't take it 6 hours before bedtime. So I would say noon, say about 12, depending on your lifestyle. Okay. Breakouts, for how long should I continue this? I have a lot of acne. I stopped having sugar, dairy and gluten since. Haven't gotten any breakouts. For how long should I continue this? I am so sorry to break this to you, darling, but if you're not really if you, like, you know, you stopped it, you eliminated something and it helped you, there's a huge possibility that you will start it and you will get it back again. So leave it for at least 6 months to 8 months, and then slowly start once a week, one meal at a time, and see how your body responds. B12 best supplements, J Life, Zenith, Health Aid. There are a lot of what else? Country of Life is good. Solgar is okay. Yeah, it's good. Thank you for taking care of my mom. I love you, Pooja. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. If someone has piles, then what should they consume? Again, it's a very personal question. Best way to get some probiotics and prebiotics in the system. For me, my favorite prebiotic is apple cider vinegar and garlic and any root vegetable basically. And probiotics, you can do homemade rice kanji, you can do sauerkraut, you can do kimchi, you can do fermented foods. But fermented foods, it's not really the actual probiotic that you need. It's healthy, it's good, it's great. It is still fermented, but the minute you put it on heat, it's gone. Is Cosmix Happy Gut good? If you haven't heard of it, would you please check it out? I will check it out. I have not heard of it. I have a feeling that it's not good. Amul has come up with 99% dark chocolate, cocoa powder. Yeah, no idea. I have never eaten it. I am just going to, yeah, I just see a lot of repetitive and personal questions. And I think I've touched upon enough. Oh my god, it's 38 minutes again. I think, yeah, I think that be all for this video. So I hope it helps, and maybe I will do another Q&A, but given that I'm not just bombarded with personal questions, see, I don't really mind giving you an answer, but even with my own friends and family and people, even with my own mother, I need to sit down. And I am someone who cannot work without a medical history, or your life's history, or your childhood, or with the way you live, or how your stress is, or how your sleep and energy is. So for me to just tell you something on a whim is not how I function. My brain cannot process it. So it's very difficult for me to answer your personal questions just like that. I will try my best. So I really hope this helps. Everything that I say in a video, it's not to diagnose, heal, or cure. It's not a treatment. It's not a substitute for what your doctor advises you to do. This video is just for awareness and educational purposes. It's a disclaimer. Please don't come at me. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.